Hello everyone, welcome back to Coach Craig Sports. Today is Monday, February 22nd. We're going to be talking some NBA DFS draft picks on both FanDuel and Draft Kings for today. But before we get started, I'm going to talk a little bit about yesterday's picks, how they turned out, and kind of why they turned out the way that they did. So on the Draft Kings side, we had James Harden, $10,900, looking for about 55 points out of him. Got to 52.25. He was a miss, but probably not one that killed you overall. Definitely a good pay-up option there. Obviously, if you had Russell Westbrook, probably would have been a little bit better. Me, myself, I went with Harden and Westbrook stacked together, and that turned out pretty well. Then at shooting guard, we had Alex Caruso, $3,300. Looking for 16.5 points out of him. Got to 17.75, so he was a hit. Talen Horton-Tucker, $4,200. Looking for 21 points out of him. He got to 35.5, so he was definitely a hit there. Then Rui Hachimura, $5,800. Looking for 29 out of him. Got to 34.5, so he was a hit. And then Mason Plumlee, talked him up a little bit. Want to play them centers against that Bulls team. $5,800, looking for 29 out of him. 42 points, so he was a pretty big hit there as well. So a pretty solid day overall on the DraftKings side. Then on the FanDuel side, we had Kyrie Irving, $9,100. I said he was pretty much a shoo-in for 50 points yesterday. Got to 53.4, so that was a hit. Talen Horton-Tucker, $4,000, looking for 20 out of him. Got to 31.7, so he was a hit. Then my one miss was Matisse Thybulle. I thought he'd end up starting in this game. Didn't end up happening. Or they started Korkmaz once again instead of Thybulle, and it was the reverse the day before. He wasn't looking good at all until the end of the game. Then he ended up with 14.7. You were looking for about 17.5, 18 out of him. So he was a miss, but probably a lower-end guy that didn't kill you too bad if you did end up playing him. Kyle Kuzma, $5,900, looking for about 30 points out of him. Got to 31.2, so he was a hit. Then last but not least, Jared Allen, looking for about 32 points out of him. Got to 36.5, so he was a hit. So 8 out of 10 on the day. Pretty good day overall. And the misses are probably ones that didn't kill you either. So should have been a pretty solid day altogether. Then with that being said, we'll get moved over to the injuries for today's slate. So we'll start off with the Kings. Exactly the same as they were last time out. Cavaliers looking like they're going to be the same as they've been. Could get Kevin Love, Prince, or Dellavedova back. I don't think any of them plays, so I'm not too concerned there. For the Thunder, we're looking at Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is the main one that we're looking at. Baisley's still out. Horford's got that little gray line next to him. If I remember correctly, he didn't play yesterday, so we'll see if he ends up playing today or not. If he doesn't play today, obviously Moses Brown is worth a ton of value. Then Timberwolves, pretty much the same as they've been. Culver's got that green next to his name now. I don't know if he ends up playing. We'll just keep an eye out on that one. Then for the Hornets, probably the biggest news is LaMelo Ball. He's hurt. He fractured his wrist or his arm. I can't remember which one exactly it was. Supposedly the rumor is that he's going to be out for the rest of the season. So obviously guys like Devontae Graham, Terry Rozier, Gordon Hayward, they're going to get a big bump up in value for today and in the future. Cody Zeller's out once again, so we're probably going to see some more Bismack Biyombo. Then on the Spurs side, just LaMarcus Aldridge and Bade Stiep out. Then we move down to the Jazz. Obviously, the biggest one that we're looking for is Rudy Gobert. Last time out, we didn't know if he was going to play, but then he ended up playing, and we'll see if anything changes today. Last time out, he was kind of last-minute decision whether he was going to play or not. I assume he plays, but just keep an eye out on that one. For the Chicago Bulls, Garrett Temple is now a game-time decision. We'll see whether he plays or not. The Toronto Raptors all the way healthy. Houston Rockets, this is one to keep an eye out on. Obviously, you got the same guys out that have kind of been out. DJ Augustine did miss yesterday due to an illness, so we'll see if he's back today. John Wall, Victor Oladipo, Christian Wood. It's a back-to-back. One of these three guys is probably not going to play. Maybe two of them doesn't play. If one or two of them end up missing this game, could definitely open up some value there. Then we move down to the Pacers. Really just TJ Warren out. The biggest thing for the Bucks is Giannis is doubtful for today. So if he doesn't play, then you're going to see a big bump up for guys like Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton, Bobby Portis, maybe even Brook Lopez. So definitely a lot of value to be had there. Just keep an eye out on that over the day. Hopefully Giannis gets ruled out sooner in the day so we kind of know that value though. Then for the Boston Celtics, Kemba Walker's out on the back-to-back. Tristan Thompson and Romeo Langford are both game-time decisions. I don't think either one of them plays in this game, so just keep an eye out on that overall. Grizzlies exactly the same as they've been. Hawks pretty much the same as they've been. Obviously, you got that Trae Young game-time decision out there as well. It looks like he should play, though. And then last but not least, that Clippers team. Beverly and Ibaka are both already ruled out, so nothing that we're looking for there. But that was just a quick little rundown on the injuries for today. We'll get moved over to DraftKings and talk about my picks over there. We'll start off with the point guard position, and I got Devontae Graham. $4,800, looking for 24 out of him. Been averaging 27 on the season. I know he hasn't played too big a minutes since he did come back, but no LaMelo Ball is definitely opening up a lot of opportunity there for him. Definitely a guy that I feel very comfortable with today. Then at shooting guard, we go with Marcus Smart, $5,600, looking for 28 points out of him. Pretty much what he's averaging on the season. No Kemba Walker today. Going to get that kind of lead ball handling duty at that point guard position. Should see an uptick in minutes as well. So he's going to be a pretty safe play overall today. Then small forward, we went with Chris Middleton. $7,600, looking for 38 out of him. That's what he's averaging on the season. Obviously, when him and Giannis aren't on the court together, his points per minute just go way up. So this is a spot where he's probably going to get you 40 points or more pretty easily. Then at that power forward position, we have Bobby Portis, $4,100, looking for 21 points out of him. Should see more minutes in this game with Giannis not playing. He's averaging 23 points on the season, so definitely in line with what you're looking for today. Last but not least, I paid all the way down at center with Bismack Biyombo, $3,400, looking for 17 points out of him. Obviously, no LaMelo Ball, so it makes it a little bit harder to go small ball. They could still do it with Malik Monk, Cody Martin, people like that, but I think Bismack Biyombo is going to have to play a lot of minutes in this game against, Jakob Poeltl on the other side. It seems like every time I think maybe the Spurs will go small ball, they don't do it, so Greg Popovich is kind of against that. As long as Jakob Poeltl's out on the court, you're going to need Bismack Biyombo to play decent minutes at least. But if you go with these five guys over on DraftKings, you'll have $24,500 left over, just under $8,200 per player. So definitely a lot of room to pay up for some guys, pay down for some guys there. I think you can definitely fit in a guy like Drew Holiday, John Wall pretty easily, and then it still gives you enough room to pay for a pretty decent player alongside them. I think you would definitely have a very solid lineup with this core five plus some of these other guys that I did mention there as well. Then we'll get moved over to the FanDuel side and point guard. I'm going to start off with somebody we just talked about, Drew Holiday, $6,800, looking for 34 points out of him. Averaging about 33 on the season. Giannis in this game, definitely going to increase his usage overall. Should definitely be more productive as well. So definitely not out of the question for him to get at least 35 points or more in this game. Shooting guard, we're going to go with Marcus Smart. I know it's kind of double dipping, but it's just a good spot for him, looking for about 25 points, averaging about 28 on the season. Then another Boston Celtic on the FanDuel side, Jaylen Brown, $7,800, looking for 39 points out of him. That's what he's averaging on the season. Obviously, he gets a little bit of an uptick when Kemba Walker is not out on the court. Plus, he's been playing well, I believe, the last 4 games or so. So he's really starting to turn it on, and I think that's definitely something you want to look for in this matchup. Then power forward, we're going to double dip once again. Bobby Portis, $3,700. Just looks like too good a price tag. You're looking for about 19 points out of him, averaging 23 on the season. No Giannis, should definitely get more minutes in this game. Not too much to repeat from the DraftKings side. Then at center, I'm going with Jakob Poeltl. And I'll say this, on FanDuel, there's no centers for me that truly stand out today. Everybody seems pretty fairly priced. Obviously, if Al Horford doesn't play, Moses Brown is going to be my pick, but I had to go with Jakob Poeltl in this case. $5,400, looking for 27 fantasy points out of him. If Bismack Biyombo is not out on the court all the time, he's definitely going to have his way with guys like PJ Washington. But with that being said, if you go with these five guys over on FanDuel, you have $31,300 left over, just over $7,800 per player. So definitely plenty of room to pay up for some guys, pay down for some guys. Not quite as many great pay up options on this slate, so maybe you find yourself more in a balanced build than typical days. So just kind of test out different things, experiment them, and see what works for you. But with that being said, these are my picks for both DraftKings and FanDuel for today, March 22nd. As always, I'll be leaving all the news and starting lineups down in the comments below. Definitely be sure to check that out. If you guys have any questions regarding NBA DFS, especially for tonight's slate, be sure to leave them down in the comments and I'll answer them as quickly as possible for you guys. And with that being said, if you guys are new to my channel, please consider subscribing. Definitely would appreciate it. Definitely helps build the community that we're trying to build here at Coach Craig Sports. That's really one for you, the viewers, helping you guys with your DFS, whether it's NBA or NFL, helping you guys with your fantasy football teams, covering all the different football news this offseason. I'm going to be talking some fantasy baseball and some baseball news as well in the near future. But with that being said, if you are a new or current subscriber who's yet to do so, also hit that notification bell down below. It's going to let you know every single time I post up a new video. Like I've been saying, do daily NBA DFS videos. Going to be doing some fantasy football content, some fantasy baseball content, and some football and baseball news as well. So definitely want to be sure to check all that out. But with that being said, that's all I got for today's video. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed. Hopefully you all do very well in NBA DFS tonight. And as always, if you guys have any questions at all, please do not hesitate to ask. Definitely here to help you guys out the best that I can. And then last but not least, special little shout out to each and every one of you watching this video. Thank you for taking the time out of your day. Really do truly appreciate it. And I hope each and every one of you has a great rest of your day.